Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, April 3rd, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am the power behind the revolution. So here we are in our second revolution evolution day of Sun in Aries. Sun in Aries is already a little temperamental. That adds a little oomph to it. And today we have Mercury shifting signs. We have Mercury moving out of Aries and into Taurus. And this is one of our big things this week. This is one of our bigger shifts this week. Before I dig into that, I do want to mention just a few other things for this week ahead. We are building to a full moon, just to add a little bit more crazy to the astro energies. While this full moon is in Libra, hopefully helping with balancing and centering and harmony, it is a full moon that is working with Chiron, so we may have some extra wounding coming through. But anytime we have Chiron present, there is also opportunity for healing. When wounds are made to be known to you, it's because their time is up. It's because there are solutions. It's part of that healing journey. So keep that in mind as we build to that full moon. And just watch relationships, because again, between all this strong Aries energy and this full moon in Libra, relationships may get a little testy. So that's pretty much the main events this week. So today, Mercury moving into Taurus. Mercury is going to move into Taurus at 9:22 a.m. and make its first connection with Pluto just about 2 hours later at 11:55 a.m. Those are both Pacific time. So this is interesting energy. We start off the day with Mercury at 29 Aries. The 29th degree of any sign has a little extra punch. It has a little extra oomph. And so the extra oomph for the Aries energy can be a little extra aggro, a little extra aggravated. Joe just went out to run an errand, but before he left, he's like, I don't know, suddenly out of nowhere. That's my Joe voice. I don't know, suddenly out of nowhere, I'm just feeling all, like just getting kind of angsty within, kind of feeling aggressive. You may wake up feeling that. It may feel a little cranky. It may feel a little aggressive. People are probably bound to have shorter fuses. I'm going to say today, because Mercury in Taurus, well, Mercury in Taurus can bring some lovely patience energies. Its first connection in a square to Pluto, which a square is a challenging connection. That's not necessarily going to be peaceful. Pluto is meant to bring the powers of transformation. Now, Mercury in Taurus is actually going to be, that's something I did mention this week, building this week to a connection with the nodes, a conjunction with the North Node, an opposition with the South Node. And as it aligns with the North Node, it's leaning into our values on a mental level and even through our communications. It's also honoring, knowing our personal value, our own worth in our minds, and also how we are speaking it to others and to the world. However, it looks like we got a little bit of this transformation energy before we get there with this square to Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius, 0 degrees. This is, I believe that Aquarius, brains, Mimi, Pluto in Aquarius is world changing. I think Pluto in any sign is world changing. I mean, look at where we've come since 2008 when Pluto moved into Capricorn and is now in Aquarius. It's going to be back and forth, but we've definitely shifted. Aquarius in particular is about innovation and shift towards the future. And that might be part of this square with Mercury at 0, Taurus, and Pluto. Really bringing your power and awareness to your mind, recognizing that as you align with your values in your mind, as you stand strong with your values in your mind, as you hold whatever boundaries you need to hold, whether it's in your mind, outside yourself, whatever, you are actually creating for the future. And I don't think we as humans are always so future oriented. A lot of times we're more like, I want to see those results now. Please give it to me now. And yet this is like, hey, can you empower your mentalizings for the future? And that means even if in this moment you're not feeling gratitude, finding that gratitude, if gratitude is something you value, even if in this moment you are not feeling love for your partner or whatever, holding that, knowing that in the future, whether it's 5 minutes in the future or 5 days in the future or 5 weeks in the future, whatever, that you will again hold that energy. Usually we don't stay long, mad at them too long. It's Mahalo knocks over my water bottle. Same thing with your animals, right? You know, they can do mischief and then we get upset and then we're like, and it's this wonderful being. And so to me, this is about empowering your mind, recognizing that you are creating for the future, whether it's your next future minute, your next future hour, your next future 12 hours, your next future day, week, etc. However, that's what we can do, right? That's the work we can do. But you may be challenged in that. You may find yourself feeling really aggravated. You may feel people pushing on your boundaries, pushing on your values. And it's okay to stand up for that, but just watch how you're doing that. I used to bring up often the 3 gates. Is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? And keeping that in mind in your communications as Mercury squares Pluto. If that is in your values wheelhouse. That isn't a values wheelhouse for me, to set boundaries for myself, but to also do it as kindly as I can, right? So tune into that. And unfortunately, that transit is gonna, kind of take us through a large part of the day. We then are going to have the moon, which is in Virgo. Oh my goodness, that moon in Virgo is also not necessarily ready to be very forgiving. The moon in Virgo connecting to Uranus in the afternoon. So again, mentally, we may find ourselves getting kind of triggered by the day. Taking time to breathe, honor your body, settle in, ground in, may help you with this process. I definitely recommend breathing. Take time to breathe if you are feeling these aggravations. By the evening, though, the moon in Virgo will connect to Venus. It's later in the evening, but this might be a nice evening to be like, peace out, everyone. I'm going to go take a bath or practice some self-care for myself. I'm going to go hermit myself and read a book. Whatever will tend to you, be loving to you, align you with pleasurable values. Do keep that in mind. And like I said, this may be an interesting few days for relationships as we are building to the full moon. Card-wise, one of the cards I have is the Harmony card in reverse. So definitely maybe a challenge. And yet, even though we have that in reverse, we have the Receptivity card. The Receptivity card is the Queen of Cups. To me, it's like, even though things are a little out of sorts, recognize how this is working for us, how this is meant to teach us. Like, okay, we've got some stuff here. We can work with the stuff here. Receive the lessons. Receive them as part of your overall personal evolution, revolution energy. We also have some inner child stuff. We've got both the Innocence card and the Outsider card. And so you may recognize or notice within yourself how some of these things that are coming up are repeat lessons from your childhood. Maybe some repeat value stuff that's coming up for you to receive, so to speak. The final card is the Creator card, and that to me goes hand in hand with what I was saying about this Mercury-Pluto square. Recognize in your mind you are creating. What choices are you choosing in your creation for laying out in the future? It's so important to be in the present, but also recognize that even in this present moment, we are creating for the future. This is not to put pressure on you. This is not to be like, oh, I can't get angry because I'm creating for the future. Let those things out. It's better out than in productive, healthy ways, right? But then see where you can realign yourself. So often we as humans can get stuck in those spirals, but we always have the power of the off-ramp, and we always, always, always have this power of creation within ourselves. You've got the power. So that's it for today. Book a reading with me. Eclipse readings available. I don't have a huge amount of spots for them, but if you want to get it in before the eclipse, we've got just under 3 weeks. We've got about 2.5 weeks before our first eclipse coming in, and it is repeating these 29-degree Aries lessons. So we're getting a beautiful preview, and if you are challenged with them, let's see, how is this holding up in your chart? Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power always. And honor your values. Namaste.